The Story of Lawyer Jane, Episode 2. Barrister Jane was the first to wake up. She looked at Dele closely and admired how handsome he was. His face looked smooth and tender like that of a child. He is so handsome and young. He doesn't look like he could hurt a fly. I wonder why his wife is bent on divorcing him. His wife said he is a woman beater, but he looks so innocent to me. I am sure there could be another reason why his wife wants to leave him. Well, if she leaves him, I will pick him up. I just want a man in my life, even if the man is a wife beater. I will manage him, Jane said to herself. She was sitting on the edge of the bed. The time was 5 a.m. and Jane wanted to prepare for the case she had in court that day. She brought out the legal brief and some of the arguments she had written. She knew she had a strong argument to win the case, but was somehow convinced that something was missing. She needed help. She tapped Dele gently. "Please, I need your help," Jane said. "All right," Dele said calmly. He stood up from the bed, went to the bathroom to ease himself, and then returned to the room. "This case is giving me headache. It is a governorship election case and I don't want to lose. I will make a lot of money if I win. Is there a way you can help me put up a stronger argument?" Jane asked Dele, who was sitting beside her. "Sure." Dele took the legal brief and went through the summary. When he was done reading, he took a pen and started writing. After writing for 1 hour, he handed what he had written to Jane. "This is impressive. You are so intelligent. You know all the sections of the Constitution offhand. How were you able to write all this in just 1 hour? I am impressed, honestly. I will just dump what I have prepared to use in court and use your own instead," Jane said with a romantic smile. "Thank you. I am sure you will win the case," Dele said. He was right. Jane went to court that morning and she won the case using the argument Dele wrote for her. Dele did not follow her to court, but he remained in the hotel waiting for her to return. When she came back, she hugged him so tightly. "I am so glad you are here with me. Thank you for what you did for me. You saved me today. I have a reward for you," Jane said as she dragged Dele to the bed in the hotel room. She did not allow Dele to taste her bottle of honey by himself. She was the one who opened the bottle of honey and poured it into Dele's mouth. "You know how to do this very well. I think this is the best I have experienced," Dele said. "Really? I have forgotten how to do it even. I don't have time for many because of the demands of my job. But when I met you, I fell for you instantly. I think I have fallen in love with you. I hope you feel the same way for me," Jane asked. "Of course I do. I have fallen in love with you as well. I don't think any man in his right senses will reject you. No man ever rejects honey," Dele said, giving Jane a gentle peck. "We have to get back to Lagos today because your wife's case against you is coming up in court tomorrow. I have booked our flight. Please, take your bath and prepare yourself. You will spend the night in my house in Lagos," Jane said as she stood up and started packing her bags, getting ready to leave the hotel room. "By the way, how do you plan to defend yourself in court? Your wife has a strong case against you, and she is bent on divorcing you. She said you beat her and has a strong evidence to show the court. What are you going to tell the court in defense?" Jane asked Dele, who had finished bathing and was putting on his clothes. "Well, leave that to me. Also, please, can I help you prepare the argument for the divorce case against me? I can do that while we're at the airplane so that before we land in Lagos, I will be done. I promise you will also win the case if I help you with the argument," Dele responded. "Wait, you want to prepare the argument against yourself? The case is against you. Do you still remember? Do you want to lose? How can you prepare a case and argue against yourself? Jane asked with laughter. However, she still allowed Dele to prepare the case for her. When they landed in Lagos, they had another wonderful time in Jane's house in Lekki. Your house is so big. You mean you live here alone? Dele asked. Yes, I live alone. My last relationship was like 7 years ago. I live all alone, but now I am no longer alone since you were here to enjoy the house with me, Jane said as they were already in bed. Yes, I love being with you. You are so fun to be with, Dele said as they both fell asleep after eating honey. The next day, Jane, Dele, and Simbi were in court for the divorce case. Simbi had no idea that her husband, Dele, was busy eating Jane's bottle of honey. She had no idea that Dele traveled to Abuja with Jane, and she didn't know that Dele was coming from Jane's house after spending the night there. When the case was heard, Dele pleaded guilty to all the accusations by his wife. The court had no option than to divorce Dele's marriage with Simbi. They do not have children yet, but the court ordered Dele to forfeit ownership of some properties to Simbi, including the house they lived in since it was bought in Simbi's name when the going was good. Dele did not argue for anything, but just allowed everything the court asked. It was like he was going back to square one, as most of his properties were given to Simbi because she claimed they belonged to her. This is because Dele loved his wife so much, and every property he had was bought in Simbi's name. All the documents had Simbi's name, so Simbi brought the documents to court and claimed ownership of all the properties. Dele was left with nothing. After the divorce, Dele went home, took his academic credentials and his clothes, and then left, never to return again. Before he left, he turned and looked at his house, and tears poured from his eyes. He has lost everything to the woman he married. He only had a small bag, and his pockets were empty as he left the house. He went straight to Barrister Jane's house.